Dr. April Lindala. She's been at Northern since I can remember.
I won't say how many decades.
Decades, but thank you for being here. I'm just so thrilled that you're here. Thank you all.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited for this class. Thanks.
So yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for inviting me. I know when I was first chatting with Sarah Monty, who works here, it was kind of just sort of a happy accident to have the conversation. But I did want to mention that different today, and I'm kind of glad it's a little bit more intimate class. I'm hoping that some of you will agree to go ahead and allow my friend Karen Webster, who is joining us from around the Green Bay area, to take part in some videotaping today and live streaming. And so she is a social media influencer. Her handle is Sassy Native, and that's with an 8, not an A. And so we're Karen and I are collaborating to really help get our Center for Native American Studies some more traction with Native communities and particularly young Native people, and looking at what great things we have to offer at NMU for them. And so this is just part of that. We're testing this collaboration out, and I thought this would be one good way to do that. So if that's okay with you guys, I would ask, if you're okay with that, to go ahead and sign up this information, which is, like I said, a little different from last week. If you would rather avoid Karen in the camera, that's fine. Oh, good. Okay, here's our. Hi, welcome. So I was just explaining, we have Karen here joining us with videotaping, and if it's okay with folks, if you would be okay with being on camera, and let us know. So this is part of an official campaign that we're doing with Northern Michigan University Center for Native American Studies. Let me also just introduce myself too in the language of this territory. Bonjour, April Lindala, Nindishnikas, Pekanado Dem, Hodnoshoni, Anishinaabe Kwe, Marquette, Nindujba, and Detroit. I forgot how you say Detroit in Anishinaabe. Nindujba Bewejan. So a long time ago, I grew up in and around the Detroit area. I came up here to go to school in Marquette at Northern Michigan University. I fell in love with the Upper Peninsula, and then subsequently was hired at the university. I started actually in public broadcasting, so public TV 13, a long time ago, and then worked my way around student affairs, supporting students of color, and then also then working at the Center for Native American Studies for the last 20 years. The Decolonizing Diet Project.
Who's heard of that before?
Who's heard of the Decolonizing? Yay! Oh my gosh, thank you, this is awesome. So this is our cookbook. The Decolonizing Diet Project was, for me, probably one of the most transformative research projects I ever took part in. I think one of the things that I learned was to not take what we eat for granted. And my mom probably would have thought she did a good job with that and raising me to do that, because she was always in the garden. She was always having us, going out and collecting wild raspberries, going out blueberry picking, going out strawberry picking, tending to her garden. I was really bad at gardening, and then I ended up looking at doing weeding like a chore. So I ended up having this tension relationship with that garden and with doing it. So when I was an adult, I'm up here, and we started this project at the Center for Native American Studies. Dr. Martin Reinhardt was the lead on this, and I was on the project staff, but I also agreed to be a volunteer research subject, one of 25. And for 1 year, we pledged to eat at least one meal out of 4, like 3 meals and a healthy snack was our criteria. I pledged to eat at least one meal a day using EDP ingredients. If I couldn't, I would fast. If I was out of the territory, I would do research of the territory I was going to, of the indigenous people of that territory, and eat indigenous foods of that territory. So it was a year long and it was something else. I'll get more into that when I do my presentation, but I wanted to at least share that foundation because that's where these recipes are coming from. The recipes that we're making today, 3 of them are my recipes, and then one of them is Marty Reinhardt's recipe. His recipe is the pumpkin cornbread. And then I was also known as one of the bakers in the group, and so we're doing sun butter cookies, and we're gonna do a pumpkin maple blueberry bread. And then we're gonna actually have vegetables too. And then we're gonna make a squash dish. And so that's a demonstration dish that we'll start with. And so we'll have, I guess we'll have one volunteer join me and kind of mirror me with the squash dish. And that will be where we'll get started. So before we do that, is there anybody who did not want to be on camera? So Karen knows who to dance around and navigate around.
And no worries if you're that
Yep,
person,
no,
or if you don't want to
you're
say
that
out loud,
person, that's what
just
I'm doing.
tap us on the shoulder and tell us,
Yep, yeah.
whenever you're comfortable. We'll make sure to be respectful of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Otherwise,
We can move on up to the
Move to the
countertops.
station.
So in the classroom, we said inside and outside the U. So find anywhere, not a bad seat. We will split you into small groups after a while.
I'm not your No, she said.
this one is Marty.
I'm part of the co-op.
They just make me with just one cheese.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
That's in my contract.
That's in the contract.
Looking on.
I'm known for giving good angles. So.
Does anybody want to be that volunteer? Somebody does. All you gotta do is just.
It's a decolonizing cooking class. Isn't that kind of cool?
There we go. Sometimes it does take just that. That
So
person.
does everybody
Thank
have
you.
their like mint water or whatever? Yeah, we're gonna be here for a little bit. I'm gonna move the compost off
Yes,
of the.
please.
Hey, how you doing, 50s?
Your.
All right. Yippee!
Yep, we're teaching the First Nation food recipes
I gotta take
by Dr. April Lindala.
Timing this class a little because I did a scheduling mistake. I scheduled the class tonight and then also tomorrow morning. But what we're cooking is something with butternut squash, so this is not your butternut squash. This is for class tomorrow.
That is for class tomorrow.
This
Yes,
is for
we
class
have this is parchment paper. So we
Yeah,
should
so
probably.
parchment papers right there in the brown box.
Here's what we're doing. Where's our pecans to roast?
Right here.
So this is a kind of side dish. It's not even a dish, it's a snack, right? You go to the carnival and see those sugared up pecans, right? Yummy. We're gonna do maple sugared pecans, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna add them to our sun butter cookies. So we're gonna add them and press them onto the cookie. Is anybody? I hope everybody had nut allergies. A lot of nuts floating in this room today. Okay. I meant the food, not the people.
It's okay, too.
That would be me. All right, so this is just a nice quickie way to make a snack. And get your pecans out. You can see, you'll notice I'm not super organized with measuring too much. Anyway, but I'm not gonna, this is like gold.
Oh, I also just mention to you April. It's a cup and a half of pecans. I know you're not a measure, but I just wanted to tell you that it wasn't the 3 cups.
That's fine. So, what we're gonna do, and by the way, I did wash my hands a few minutes ago. You might not have seen me do that. So I did do that. Important to do. Wash your hands before we get cooking. So I'm just gonna pour just a wee bit of maple sugar on this, maple syrup. And like I said, measure. Do you have a spatula?
Mm-hmm. Like a rubber scraper or what?
The metal one. Yeah, that guy would be great.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna like soak these in the maple syrup. A little bit heavy. And maple syrup. So
Well, so April, I have a bunch, I have more. Should we just do them all? Because I have this many left.
drop them.
I'm like, what are we gonna do? Just that many. Hopefully I measured right with the last, with everything you guys need.
There we go. Yeah. I wasn't gonna say anything.
I bet it looked a little shy. It's a little light.
Right? And I mean, just by themselves, this is a great snack. So this is a really quick thing. We're gonna throw them in for 4 minutes at 400 degrees, and then take it out and stir it around to make sure all of the pecans are nice and glossy with the syrup. And then some people, if you're a sweet and savory, you might want to add sea salt to these, or just leave them on the sweet side, whatever you prefer. But because most of these are going to go on the cookies, I'm going to go ahead and just leave them on the sweet side. So I'm just making sure all of my pecans have some of that syrup, and you can see those kind of that glistening under the lights there to make sure they're all nice and covered. And then once they are, I'm going to spread them out.
So you called maple syrup liquid gold.
It is because, well, you know, many of our more than human relatives deserve so much more credit than we give them for. And Maple is one of our relatives that gives so much of themselves. And this is one way and one treat that Maple gives of themselves, right? Maple Nation and Tree Nation know what to do. It's us humans that we get messed up once in a while, right? And so they know what their job is. And luckily we're so grateful to have Maple Nation know to make this help us with marking that seasonal change from snow to spring, to give us this gift of sap and syrup. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these in. You're watching the clock, right, Amanda?
I'm watching it. Yeah.
All right.
Watching it go by. How
4
long?
minutes.
4 minutes.
At 400, I'm gonna take them out.
I'm gonna set a timer.
So I'll need, what do you have for me to put something hot, a hot pad?
pad?
Yeah,
Hot pad or a trivet?
sure.
Both.
Yeah, I'll need both. And then I'll take them out in 4 minutes and I'll stir them around again, just to make sure they don't get sticky in that one spot, right? You really want to kind of keep them moving. Same thing when they come out after the second 4 minutes, because it's only 8 minutes total. Keep them moving, because if you let them sit, they're going to stick together, because that syrup is just going to be wanting to be nice and I mean, it might be nice to have a big clump of pecans covered in maple syrup, but it doesn't help us if we want to make cookies with them, right? So this dish here, ready? Where's Daddy? Where's Daddy? All right. All right. Do you wash your hands?
I did.
High five. All right. Okay, so you're going to go on this side. Or, yeah, you're going to go on that side. We'll go on that side. So you have the same thing I have, except you have the sunflower oil. So we have a bunch of squash here. Butternut squash.
At a coworker, it was a massive butternut squash. That took a lot of like our muscle. So thank Pamela. If you know Pamela,
does.
she did it.
Shout out to Pamela.
Shout out to
So
Pamela.
I'm sorry she couldn't stay here. Last week she was here, and it was her birthday, but she chose to be at my cooking workshop. So I was very honored and excited. Okay, so butternut squash, more pecans, more maple sugar, salt, Bing cherries. Bing cherries. These are dried up Bing cherries. And they will, plump when you get them going and stuff like that. But we need to soften up and get some moisture going with our butternut squash. What we found last week, because these are a little bit different pans than I'm used to, is that we couldn't use the sunflower. We did use the sunflower oil, and then they just got really brown, but they were still too hard, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to soften them up with water and put the lids on there and kind of let those do their thing. And we're going to only put it on medium-high heat, because you don't want them to heat up too fast either, right? Let them kind of take a nice little, take their time. Yeah.
A little steam bath.
So I'm at kind of like 5 o'clock.
I don't know how much water.
Yeah, I'm gonna-
arbitrary amount.
Yeah, and I'll just pour an arbitrary amount.
Yeah.
And then if we need more, we need more.
Do you cook on electric at home or gas?
I do.
Yeah,
I cook on electric.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to set this aside here in case we need to add more. And then these are gonna have to heat up. So let's put yours on, you've got yours on 5 o'clock, mine's on 5 o'clock, and we'll just let that heat up just a little bit. I'm gonna guess this is gonna be done
Well, yeah,
soon.
so, and it only gives us one warning, so we have to if it does yell at us, it
We
won't
gotta
tell us
do it.
again. It won't
Right.
tell us again.
Right, okay.
But I was curious with the group, does anybody do maple syrup? Does anybody sugar? Yeah. How many hands?
We have done, yeah.
Make it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
I know.
learned this year you can make
Smells great.
black walnut syrup. Wow. So I wanna try that. We have an ancient black walnut tree.
Wow.
So
I
you
didn't know
tap
that.
it? Yeah.
You tap it and boil it down.
I
It's
bet
2
that's
weeks after
delicious.
maple.
Okay.
So the
It's after
farmer who
maple.
told me, sold me some and said 2 weeks after the maple sugar
So it's running.
sap runs, yeah.
That's when walnut
That's
is a
when the
little later.
walnuts.
Is
so.
it sweet?
I haven't tried it yet. I haven't actually tried it yet.
I don't know if it would be sweet.
He said it's not as, cause we've done things with like green black walnuts, we've made liqueur and stuff like
Sure.
that. And the tannins are,
Yeah.
so, yeah, but he said the sap is not like
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
It's earthier maybe.
Okay. I was gonna say
I'll
smokier.
let
I
you
bet
know.
it has a smokier
Yeah.
sense. Okay, that's our cue,
Yeah.
eh?
Mhm.
All right, so this is our quick 4 minutes with the pecans out, and so I'm just gonna I don't use trivets.
Oh, yeah, I know. And
I'm
I don't know
gonna
what
have to
happened to our hot pads. I
That's
think
all right.
somebody threw it
We're
away.
good. We're good. So I'm just gonna stir these pecans up again and make sure that everybody's getting a nice. You can see the maple syrup on the parchment paper. You'll notice I'm using parchment paper. Don't do this straight on the pan. It's not a good idea. The parchment paper actually really communicates well with the syrup and it doesn't stick to it, right? So if you did it right on the pan, you would find it would be a little bit or stickier to the actual pan, and we don't want that. So, I'm so glad she threw the rest of the pecans in. This looks like
Well, this is like-
this looks
this
like
is
the
the
amount
second
I
class.
usually work with, right? So
we get to use up everything.
I don't. Oh, yay!
That if there's
Hey.
extra anything, if you're okay, I just like to throw it in.
Yeah, right on.
Well, if there's
Okay.
extra pumpkin seeds, we could toast them.
See, last week we were running around buying more stuff because we were a little shy on some ingredients.
I'm not saying
so-
that won't happen, but so far.
But at the same time, if we need them, we can use them. Okay, so I stirred these up a little bit more, and I'm gonna go ahead and, I'm not left-handed, carefully put this in the oven with my left hand. 4 more minutes!
4 minutes, time. These are, every oven.
And then I'm gonna move this out of the way here, so when they come out, we'll move them over there. All right, so we got these guys going. Because this is a little bit warm now, I'm just gonna, normally I would not do this way, but I'm gonna just carefully do this by hand. You don't want your water to bounce like that, so watch that, Demi. I don't want you to hurt yourself. This is because these pans were a little bit different than what we had than what I'm used to.
Tina.
And so,
What kind of cookware do you use at home?
you know what? Stuff from Goodwill.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Like everything I wear is from Goodwill. I don't know. Not this fancy apron though. This fancy apron was a gift. So,
From Michelle Reed.
yeah, Michelle Reed, Emery Designs, everybody.
Pretty.
Don't start ordering from her because I'm on the list and you can't be in my way. So, just kidding. Just kidding. So this is I couldn't begin to tell you what kind of cookware I have. It's like, hey, this looks
Whatever.
big. It has a lid.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if it works at home.
Do it.
And if it does, awesome. If it doesn't, well, then I'm not really out
Yeah.
because I got it from Goodwill.
I found some cast irons at Goodwill that
Right.
I'm thrilled about.
Yeah. Yeah.
You never know what you find.
Never know. Never know. Never know.
Marketplace is a great place for cookware. Because like good cookware doesn't really get bad.
Right.
Like your cast iron and stuff, it'll last forever.
I'm just moving this out of the way because I can put the lid here.
Good for me, yeah.
Yeah. So
And she has the oil just because
we'll be sharing.
it'll
the oil.
go back and
We
forth.
will all be sharing the sunflower oil. Normally with this dish, I would use pumpkin seed oil or butternut squash oil. The brand that I've used, which used to be on sale here years and years and years and years ago, is Stony Brook is the brand, and they're out of New York. But sometimes they run out too, right? So the pumpkin seed oil is a really rich, nutty kind of flavor, and the butternut squash oil is just the more emphasis on the butternut squash, right? So it's not doing, the sunflower oil is not gonna do too much of a difference with flavor. It does have its own flavor. It's probably a little bit closer to what we know as like a vegetable oil in taste, but it's distinctly sunflower oil. Like you'll come to know the flavor, I guess, is what I would say. So the other ingredients that we have around us here, people have asked about the pecans. When I get to my presentation, I'll show you a map, because pecans don't necessarily grow here per se, but they grow within the Great Lakes region, of which we created a map as a group community project. How do you define the Great Lakes? So for example, 2010, 2011, as we were starting to prepare for our project, anybody who walked in the center, we would say, here's a map, circle what you would consider the Great Lakes. Here's a map, circle what you consider the Great Lakes. And then we stacked them all up. And we kind of came with an average based on all of those stacked on top of each other. We had about 60 people participate in that map, so it helps us. But I'll show you the map itself when we get to the presentation. So pecans, not necessarily from this region, but certainly within the window of the region that is what was deemed Great Lakes. Maple sugar, the year that we did the actual project, was really warm in the UK. We got a call the end of January that said, hey, our sap's running. And we're like, oh, that's a problem. Because we were gonna start our clock when the sap ran. And so we had to come up with an arbitrary date. Yeah, I'm just gonna stir these up one more time and then I'll put them off to the side. We had to come up with an arbitrary date. I believe it was March 24th. And then for 1 year, we clocked it from there, starting with our diets. When we were first starting, we did not know what foods to buy. So the project lead, who had been studying for like a year and a half, he got a lot of phone calls from us while we were standing in the frozen meat aisle, let me tell you. So we could have bison, we could have organic turkey, we could have whitefish, obviously. Some of our main primary staples, wild rice, wild rice, wild rice, wild rice. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we were having wild rice. And then some of what you're seeing here, the winter squashes, a number of varieties. We're gonna use duck eggs, as opposed to what we, might normally use for baked goods. So we're gonna use duck eggs in our recipes tonight. And then, I'm trying to think, what else is on the list here?
Corn.
Yep,
Just
corn.
over here, just not for April, just for.
Just not for me, yeah.
her. Blueberry.
Blueberries, yep.
Cranberries?
No cranberries, but we have Bing cherries. We have the Bing cherries. Cranberries does fit. One other thing that I would say, I don't want to mix my, what do you call it, instruments here.
Do you have another?
I realized, yeah. I know, I accidentally did both of them as nuts.
Oh. Can you lift up that whole jar of utensils and spin it over here?
Thank you. Okay, let me get my lid back off here. Thank you. Oh yeah, these look like they're nicely softening up, which is awesome.
And you think you'll let the water simmer away a bit?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Let's see how we're doing. Yeah. I think I might need it a little bit under the lid a little bit more. But if we want to plump our cherries up, nothing wrong with throwing those in right now, because these are all dried. And I think the cherry flavor with the squash, the Bing cherry flavor in particular, is a really rich, really.
I was wondering, is there enough for us to taste them before they're cooked, or no? You need them all in the day?
Sure. Not out of my batch though.
Yeah.
I moved a little too
Do
fast.
you guys want to taste them or do you want them into the dish? Taste. Throw them on the table. You're good? Yeah.
Okay,
Throw some over here, then I'll bring them back to Deb.
as we're kind of letting us go ahead and put your lid on.
They are so, I think they are different than the Montmorency.
Absolutely. They're
I don't know if you can see
absolutely
'em.
different than the ones we had last week. Last week the store was
There you
out
go.
of stock.
Of
So
all
we had to like substitute. So that was a fun,
Can't
that
see
was
it.
a fun adventure. So I think it, for me, these have just such a nice, rich, deeper, kind of more,
The other ones are more tangy.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for that word.
Sharp and tangy. These are
These
more
are-
mellow and
Really round and full of flavor, kind of more in a deeper sort of sense than those kind of, not that there's anything wrong with that, but I sort of got used to working with these. And so having that taste next to the butternut squash, I think, kind of makes it, what do you think? Is that right? See, I just threw mine all in. I didn't get to.
Oh, I should have saved you one.
No, you're fine. It's all good. It's all good. So, yeah, it's all fine. So Denny is a new colleague of mine at NMU. I'm super thrilled she's here.
I'm super happy to be here.
And I'm also happy she chose to like volunteer to do this. All right, so these are getting to a point, yippee, where I'm like able to cut through most of the
you
big
don't want them
ones.
like fork tender yet, but just
Right, right.
firm, al dente or whatever.
Yeah, because now this is gonna be where we're gonna put our sunflower oil in. And I don't know if you measured that or if we're just pouring.
I did not measure.
That's fine.
We just pour. Oh, for the oil?
Yeah,
I haven't measured any of it.
right on. No worries.
Oh, you want a tablespoon or anything? No? Yay. I'm with you, April. I'm less dishes, so we don't need measuring.
Right? So I've just put something in about maybe the size of a silver dollar at the bottom, and now my goal is to kind of get this moving around in that oil now that my water's all gone. You can hear it sizzling up a little bit differently.
You maybe think at home, is your squash more spread out in the pan? It's not as
I
stacked.
will say my pan is a lot bigger.
Bigger, right, that's what I
So that
feel.
probably is the case. I'm gonna throw my nuts in right now, my
Thank you.
pecans in. Cause we want pecans to get some of that sizzle as well while this is working.
And if you do end up with like too much sticking and you're at the point of you don't want to add more oil, I just keep adding water to
Yep,
get unstuck.
absolutely.
Okay.
I probably
Something
will
I
need
learned
something.
Just this year, that you could add water
Yep.
to your
Yep,
pans.
yep.
Don't have to keep adding oil.
Yeah, so last week, just because I did turn this down a little bit, I'm gonna turn yours down too,
Okay.
just a little bit more. So
Yeah.
now you're at about 7 o'clock on the dial, so not real high, because it'll cook too fast and just the outside will cook. And
To
so
sign up for these
flipping
classes,
these
definitely
cherries
check the link in
around
my
and
page and my
pecans around so they're all
my
measured
bio.
out. Sassy, are you live?
I am.
Hi viewers, you guys, I'm so thrilled that Sassy's here with us at the Marquette Food Co-op. Downtown Marquette, Michigan. They're so supportive of all our decolonizing diet project efforts. Some people, shoppers, if you even noticed, they have Ojibwe words next to some of our foods that we used in the diet. So these were some of them. So I'm gonna drop a little bit of salt in
Can I
here.
test you, April? I don't know, can you tell
You
me?
can test me and
Can
I
I
shall
test?
fail.
Okay, well, that's okay. Can
I'm
you-
not gonna use all the sugar, that's quite a bit of sugar. I'm
Can you
just
tell us the native names for these ingredients?
Not all of them, but my presentation, I have them. So there is actually not a word for pecan, not surprising since there were none here, but there is a word for hazelnut, and I substituted in my presentation, if you need that. I substituted in my presentation hazelnut, because we didn't have a word for pecan. But we have words, I can tell you, min, M-I-I-N, min. Let's hear you say it. Min. It's the blueberry. Where's the blueberry over there? Odamin. Adding that ode is heart. Heartberry. What do you think the heartberry is? Strawberry. It's a strawberry. Because there's stories that go with that, just like there's stories that go with the maple tree, and there's stories that go with other, the wild rice and with other foods, there's stories that go with them. So I think I'm gonna turn mine off, actually. I think Mama's
I don't want to get ahead. Is that in your presentation, the story of Menomin?
cut.
Okay.
No, I'll talk about the significance, but I won't get too much into that.
Sure.
That's a long presentation. So we're gonna set those aside and let those go off the burners. Turn them down, turn them off, whatever. Thank you! Okay, so that is, I did not use all of the maple sugar in mine, so we had the sunflower oil, we had the salt, we had the maple sugar, so one might be a little bit
I
more,
heard you guys tasted this last week.
maybe.
Should we do that? The maple
Sure.
sugar?
Yes! Has anybody not had maple sugar? So Denny has not.
Not any.
We had actually quite a few people they knew maple syrup, but they didn't know maple sugar. And so to make the sugar, you keep working it, keep boiling it, right? And so it's a real treat, but it's also work. There's also work involved. So as my dad would say, nothing worth it comes easy. And I think when I think of maple syrup and sugar, there's work behind it, right? There's some labor of love going on. Same thing with wild rice. The hand harvesting of wild rice is multiple steps, 7 or 8 steps. And so there's a community aspect to the sugar bush in that time frame of when winter is coming to an end and spring is starting to show up and that sap's running. Sugar bush is concentrated time where community comes together and they share stories and they share lessons. And in this time of year, this time is wild rice. And so I just went to wild rice camp last Saturday up at Keweenaw Indian Community. And so I was shocked at how many people were there. The number of cars, I was like blown away because when I used to go, 10, 12 years ago, there was maybe even longer than that, there'd be small groups of us. I want to say there's easily 75, 80 people there. And so I was like thrilled. So they had 4 areas for parching the rice, and then they had 2 areas for dancing or jigging the rice, multiple stations for winnowing and sorting the rice. And so I was really impressed that they had so many community members showing up. And they did have also a delegation from Klamath Territory in Washington State, which was really cool because they were doing a cultural exchange. So shout out to everybody up at KBIC and KBOCC. Shout out to Roger and Don and Carlene Chosa for helping lead us. Kathy too, I can't forget Kathy. Lots of great lessons. I had no responsibility whatsoever, so I got to go visit. I got to just like sit and
hang out.
Right, which is part of it, right? It's not part of it. It's having that time to reconnect with people maybe you haven't seen in a couple of months or years or whatever. In my case, having that space and time over food where you're coming together and visiting, right? All right, so we have different stations for different recipes. So this looks like sun butter cookies, and the big giveaway there is the sun butter in the jar. For anybody, I will just say don't measure, just use the jar for the recipe.
Okay. That's it. Is that if you're doing a double recipe?
Yeah.
Because this is a single recipe. I know. Sarah said there was less people, so I went with less.
Okay, never mind, just kidding. We're going to, and so one of the things you'll notice as a primary ingredient for the bread and the sun butter cookies is pumpkin seeds. This is raw pumpkin seeds, no salt, no fancy thing added to the pumpkin seeds. And the co-op, every once in a while when I'm here and they're on sale, it's like everybody's calling everybody, they're on sale. And so, but they don't last. Like you have to use them because they don't have like a shelf life like other ingredients do. And so when I was doing the diet, when we were engaged in this every single day, one of the things I would do is I would take a really large amount and I would put them through a coffee bean grinder. Or I would trade with a student who had more time and I would say, I'll buy you some whitefish if you take this giant bag of pumpkin seeds and put them through my coffee bean grinder. We are fortunate today to have a Vitamix machine. I actually recommend not doing small amounts, actually going ahead and doing the amount. I find that even with the coffee bean grinder, fill it to the top and do it all. Don't worry about it, trying to do half or a little bit, just fill it up. So that's something I found was really helpful, because then I could just have my pumpkin seed flour, is what I'm making it into, for all week, and then I could just not have to worry about doing that every single time I went to cook. Another thing we're going to be using, one of the recipes has wild rice. I think the bread, we had wild rice in it last week, and that will also go through the Vitamix machine or a blender machine. That has been something that's hard, just because wild rice is like the fall version of maple syrup. It's like, gold off of water. We don't necessarily use it as flour too much, and it's also, we were purchasing it from a venue out in Minnesota. We haven't seen them selling it as much anymore. So rice and syrup both are going to be vulnerable to the climate crisis going on, right? We're seeing in places in northern Minnesota where rice is not doing what it's supposed to be doing because the temperatures are probably different than what they were, or the water levels are probably different what they were. We've also seen a number of years ago, Bad River, Wisconsin experienced this. We've seen pockets in Indian country where these things are impacting our food sources in ways that are, they're kind of like really significant and scary, right? The other thing I would say is that some people have, in universities and corporations, they want to make, what do you call them, like genetic versions and play around with the genetics. And Ojibwe people in this territory have a real strong feelings about not doing that. It's disrespectful to the being that is the rice grass, or beings that are giving us these more than human relatives that give us these gifts. And so a lot of Ojibwe people that I've spoken to have really, really strong feelings against this sort of genetic modification or genetic altering or whatever. And so I really try hard to make sure people know that, because I feel like I'm a guest here in this territory, having come from and grown up around the Detroit area, and I want to be a good, respectful relative to my Ojibwe relatives who have given me so much knowledge over the years, including so many things on this diet. So I try to always let people know those things as I'm doing these workshops. All right, so where are our stations?
So that will be the pumpkin maple blueberry. Not pumpkin, yeah, pumpkin maple blueberry. Whenever I see that, I'm thinking of like orange. It's hard for me to like switch over to pumpkin seed flour, not
right.
pumpkin.
Pumpkin seed flour is green. Mm-hmm. It's like a green, just like the color of the pumpkin seeds. Mm-hmm. It's gonna mirror that color. So it's not gonna be like the outside color of the skin of the pumpkin, right?
Right. And then over here is the
some butter cookies.
And if it's devastating to the class as it's one recipe, I'll go grab more ingredients. So we have plenty of cookies.
I was just a wee bit sad.
I'm a wee bit sad too. And I think because I have like more seeds, we could almost do like a 1.5. I would just need
that involves math.
It involves math, and that's hard. So anyway, that's sun butter cookie, and we can kind of discuss if we wanna.
Okay.
If I want me to run up for ingredients, and then over there is Marty's cornbread.
Yep.
The last
and that's on the last page.
Pumpkin cornbread, and we're making the muffin version.
Yes.
Because it cooks faster.
It does.
I also heard with the bread that it takes a bit of time.
It does take a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I would say, like, as order goes, like people on the pumpkin bread, we will get that going, probably first. They'll get the blender first for making their flour.
That'd be great.
But then over here, you guys, a little more leisurely pace, but still within reason. We have 2 blenders in the room and 3 groups, so that side will share that blender when one group gets done with it. And so
when you get to the recipe, multiple recipes are going to need sunflower oil. We'll just keep the oil here.
And I have that one, and then once that one's shot, we will switch over to.
I hope at the
you go through like half a bottle, and
I don't think we will.
if we have a second if we need it, and then that's it. Do you demo the flour?
Yeah.
You just have them do it.
No, well,
Okay.
I mean, I can demo the flower. If somebody wants me to do that, I'm happy to do that.
Or just with we could use, let's let you guys do yours, and then she can do a demo amount.
Okay, so I learned something last week from one of our students in the workshop about these Vitamix machines. She picked up a Vitamix, these are expensive. And so she called Vitamix because she didn't think she was getting things at the consistency that she wanted them. And the people at Vitamix said, "It's a Mustang, drive it like you mean it." And so I was like, good advice, because I don't own one, and so I would have never known that. And so I would say, I was glad that she shared that, because I think people
Hey,
want to be a
mistake.
little gentle, being that we're in a class and we're kind of don't know each other and we're polite and blah, blah, blah. And no, you drive it like you mean it. So that's the advice I'm going to take. I'm going to take this off and then.
Yep. Something I have learned since making flour with seeds is that you measure out a cup, that's why I gave her the cup of pumpkin seed. You'll measure out a cup of pumpkin seed, but then what you'll end up with is more than the cup. So I kind of wanted to see that visual again.
Yeah, so I'm putting in a cup. We have this Vitamix, and
There's an on button on the right side of.
yeah, I'm kind of looking to see, am I
Yeah,
in,
this one
am I
first.
in second gear?
We're off right now. I always start-
Okay.
Oh, wait. Then this one off. Put it down 0. Then it's the switch up, and then you can crank it.
Gotcha. Okay, good. I am gonna check now,
Do you like a spoon or anything? Or
Possibly.
Kind of.
because this is not my machine. I don't, whoops, sorry. Still do have a little couple of seeds in here.
Clear.
So I'm just gonna move, yeah, I'm
You
gonna
can move it to a clear.
moving this off to the, you'll notice the sides get a little bit caked on. So I'm just moving these off to the side so that,
Do you ever risk? I had this question before the class. Like, would we ever make pumpkin seed butter if you ran it too
Yep.
long?
it's a talent.
To get to that.
Not brown sugar, pecans. When we do the pecans in
You
here,
have to worry. Yeah.
you have to be
Can't
very
go too-
mindful.
because the
Yep,
oil's
the
so
oil,
yeah.
yeah, the pecans will turn into a butter, yeah. All right. My second go around. See how that did. I'm thinking that was gonna do better. And then I'm gonna let this get passed around.
And I'll do this because I know, like you said, we're trying to be
Oh, yeah.
polite. And like, handle it like you did, April. There.
I don't have a Mustang, so
Yeah.
I can't afford a
I
Mustang.
rode my bike really fast.
I can't afford a Vitamix, so. Yeah, I ride my bike really fast, is that what you
Well,
said?
yeah.
Oh yeah, this looks really great. Okay, I think we're good. So put it in here.
Actually, what would be cool is to pour it. Let's see how much. Let's pour it into this cup, or you can have. And then we'll see like how much
We have
over that
one
cup.
renegade seed in here. Would you do that? What's the seed's like? Not me. I'm
It's
not
not
getting
okay.
chopped up today. That seed's like, I got another purpose. Okay, so we're gonna try to measure and see now. This was 1 cup of seeds,
How
and
about with baking, DDP baking recipes though? Like you said, you're not a big measurer. How about with baking? Do we need to measure
I'm a little bit better,
more?
but not much.
Yeah.
Cause I mean, what I would do is I'd make the whole thing of pumpkin seeds, and then I would just take my cup and
Yeah.
measure it, right?
Yeah.
Now
So you didn't
it
have to
feels
worry.
like this is a little bit backwards,
Uh-huh.
so I didn't have to.
Right.
So I just would shoot my pumpkin seeds up one day of the week.
I just wanted to
Cook
see
the
if what I
rest of
wrote
the
was true in your booklets where it talks about seeds and how much flour. Last time we did this, we ended up with more flour.
Yeah, I think we
wanted to see.
will.
What can you said using a coffee grinder, but not a blender necessarily?
I've used coffee bean grinders. Again, I'm not gonna invest in one of those, so, but, or other people have used spice grinders, like spice grinders. So I'm not familiar with them, so I would feel uncomfortable speaking about them.
Like this kind of deal?
Yeah.
Is this what you had for you did all your flour for the whole year?
Wow.
The motor worked. It didn't ever die.
I did have 1 or 2 die, but I mean, I also was kind of like, we're picking them up at garage sales and whatever, you know what I mean? Again, me and my wallet just trying to be. Okay, so yeah, we have a lot more still in here, and this is almost right at the line. So I'm trying to be careful.
I see a little.
I'm packing it a little bit
yeah.
just to
fit it, or is that how you do it? Yeah.
There's a lot more left.
I think that's really neat.
Yeah. Okay, who's this for?
This group over here. So let's give them we'll just
Well,
pour
that's
it
fine.
into
Yeah, you're fine.
When you're measuring for the recipe, do you pack it like brown sugar or no?
This is your better cup. Right there. And then I'll give you that, and then you guys will get this. You can just put this up into another bowl, and you can add it to your full amount. Are they okay to serve?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that side has that Vitamix, this side has this Vitamix. So that guy, and that can just get dumped out. You guys with Betty Somebody knows you can just grab whatever you need.
All right, who has to do the pecans? These guys have to do the pecans.
The sun butters?
Yeah,
Yes.
those have to get ground up.
Yep, so you guys have that Vitamix?
Sun butter.
These pecans will get chopped up with a knife.
I did plug it in already, so.
Okay, so you are live. Ready to go.
Absolutely.
So-
Can we do them all at the same time? Can we do all the pumpkins at the same time?
And then just measure out what you need?
Yeah.
If it's not too much for this.
Okay.
How much do you guys have? I think
We need
not
2
too much
cups.
at a time. Okay.
I would put at least half in.
Fill it halfway? Yeah. Well, let's take yours and dump it in and see how it's gonna shake out. Yeah. So do you think, well, that's probably
This is what
enough.
she's making. Some butter cookies.
And then-
She just pulverized the pumpkin seeds to make 3 cups of flour. She's gonna use some butter, pecan flour.
That's the
salt.
trick. I didn't necessarily measure everything exactly, so that's why I gave you measuring cups.
Again, they're doing the seeds over here.
So do you know how many cookies one recipe will make? Enough for everybody in the room? So we should go I could easily get what we need first.
And then I'll hear about it on the radio.
That's what they're showing, that she used the coffee grinder. So what we're doing here today, we're decolonizing. We're doing a cooking class with Dr. April Lindala. And she's doing decolonizing diet stories.
Oh, so we need that.
I just need cupcakes.
Oh, you want to see what kind of shells? Yeah, no shells, no shells. Or wait, which shell? The
Just
French.
start making that one recipe, whatever. Or no, I'm gonna give you a big bowl.
Those were Wish shells, right? The pumpkin seeds was no shells, guys, no shells.
Here, I'll have you look at them.
This is the laid back.
So the white shells are off of them.
I
They're
did
the
put
green
more
raw
than one cup in
centers.
Okay.
Okay, I'm coming right back with ingredients for another.
All right, thank you guys for your patience and hanging in with us. We're just working on little steps every little bit here and there. We have about 8 or 9 people joining us. That's pretty cool. What else do when they go up on the walls like that, it just ends up spinning air.
Oh, okay. So I'm trying to get those.
Yeah, if we don't get it 100%, it's okay.
Yeah, we're gonna have to redo it.
I know I like to do smell-o-vision in here, but it smells great. It smells like maples and butternut squash. It smells really great in here.
All right, so this needs 4 cups. We'll try to do it by memory here. 4 cups, and we already have a cup and a half.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Sort of like gooey. What are
Yeah, that's exactly what I would do. I'm not super precise with packing everything down.
Okay.
I just like having, yep, 2.5.
Yeah, it might be. There's a lot under the blade.
Yeah, we're
April, if some little seeds escape, is that gonna be?
That'll be fine.
Okay.
That'll be fine.
I'm imagining Ed's crunch.
Yep.
Yeah, we need 2 cups.
Yeah, the pecans will add crunch too, but
Yeah.
this, if it works out that way, that's no problem.
all of this.
You do it.
Right.
So I will say that I won't visit the pumpkin cornbread folks too much, because that's 1, not my recipe, and 2, I can ingest corn with a little bit of tummy trouble. So, but so going to the movies is sometimes sad,
Oh my.
unless I take a lot of probiotics and other medicines. Which who wants to do that?
I think this is gonna do it.
Perfect.
Do we need to clean this out before we do the wild rice?
Because they're going in the same recipe, I think we'll be okay. I'm not worried about it. Hey, the kitchen, you're cooking with verve, is what Walt would say. My husband loves to cook with verve, I get cooking. So. Awesome. Yep. No complaints from me. Okay. All right. Go ahead and do up the wild rice.
Is this like the other one?
For whatever reason, it's not. Oh, wait.
Good enough?
It is. There's all kinds of whole seeds.
I want to smell.
Smell-o-vision! Yeah,
Smells
this
really-
is wild rice. We've ground it up in the Vitamix. And this is gonna be one of our dry ingredients in the bread.
Okay, so we 2/3 cup.
Somebody on the other side of the room wants to smell wild rice flour.
I do.
Smells good.
Smells earthy.
No, I don't know.
For those of you,
Up into bowls.
what are you working with?
Absolutely.
I didn't know.
I know, it's hard to tell.
Our Vitamix isn't, maybe the other one?
This one's for you with the consistency.
Yeah, this one we're done with.
Here, this is for, so now
We're
we're gonna
gonna,
double.
just probably needs a little wiping out and cleaning up.
That is a cup and a half already. But you have measuring cup?
Yeah, there's still quite a few big ones here. I'm wondering if just using the other mic.
I'm worried about, okay.
Okay, all right.
So maybe just that one, this red Vitamix is the.
It's a good one.
You drive them.
Yeah.
I've never
No, you're good.
Oh, I have a Mustang.
And so So when we parch it, you're put it over a fire, and then you dance it, so like loosen the hulls, and then you winnow it so the hulls will separate from the rice. And then the sugar, and then the sugar. Okay, and so that's extra. Is there a little bit of extra wild rice flour? Let's use it. I can't.
We use dirt.
Just do it.
Right.
I love a recipe that is like, just do it.
I can't waste wild rice. So if you haven't already done so, you'll notice if you haven't worked with duck eggs, they're a little bit stronger than chicken eggs.
Who knew?
Shelly?
Yeah. Perfect.
That looks really close too, so.
Yeah.
Are you? Oh, Shelley, do you have the vitamin? Oh, they got it.
That's probably
Okay.
we still
I was like,
already.
where did it
2
go?
teaspoons.
How did it work?
Looks like nothing.
For large amounts.
Maybe it's just the jar.
Yeah, the blender jar. Need a new one?
So this side of the table is making the pumpkin maple blueberry bread.
Do we have any cheese or measuring spoons?
They're measuring spoons.
I don't know what size you need there.
But that would.
And maybe the red.
Yeah.
I know, I'm like you, I
Yeah.
can't see with my glasses on sometimes, and then I
But I
can't.
know, I have a Rubik's and it has the phone.
Okay.
The milling blade. Okay.
Are we done with pumpkin seeds right now?
I think so.
I think we are.
Yes.
They got what, you guys got what?
Okay,
Yeah. So that's so much less you needed? Wow.
Yeah, we cut those
Interesting to me.
Right?
I know a little bit of, like, I think baking is like math and science and cooking is like art. So,
We have quite the, yes, we have quite the project, our project.
Alright, sounds good, Granny.
Do we?
you need another bowl? A wet
the
ingredient? Yep. I thought it, maybe, yeah,
A little bit
this is
extra.
it.
Should we dump them in?
Good enough.
Okay, there's your wet.
Then there's less to clean
Here
up.
we go for the wet. So that's gonna be the egg.
Yes.
Oil.
Should I put them in? Well, remember, we're still waiting, we're waiting for our seeds.
We're gonna put them on top of the cookies.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna use them, and then the ones if we have, some left over, then we can put them in a little
thing.
salt.
Don't bother.
Tried one, they're really
Are we doubling the recipe?
Yep, super.
Yeah, so if you're working with the duck eggs, just remember when you're cracking them, they're a little tough.
Yeah.
They're surprised that if you haven't worked with them before, they can surprise you.
Correct, because this is for the other, this is the other,
Yes.
Put them in a measuring cup.
with the red.
Do you wanna?
So,
Okay.
essentially we just
Mix it all together, yeah.
yeah, you can crack eggs in here. It does
And
smell
then
really
shells
good.
can go compost.
Okay.
And then we need 3 tablespoons of the oil.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we need
3 tablespoons
Three
of oil,
tablespoons.
that's our warm water.
Did I give you a tablespoon?
No.
In your measuring cup over
We
there?
have a teaspoon.
Oh,
Be mine.
nope. You're right. No, because
Okay,
I put it
Sass,
here,
thank you
that's
for
why I
being
can't
here.
find it. The wrong drawer.
Okay.
No, right there.
Oh, I thought, isn't this?
No, the metal one. The plastic ones too. The metal ones just go behind. Actually, I started putting them right here instead of in the way that. But I couldn't find them.
Are they done?
They're gonna use those for cookies.
Go ahead and turn that up if you need to. Turn that speed
Go
up.
ahead.
She doesn't turn it up.
Turn it up.
We're cooking with Dr. April Lindala. We are making pumpkin maple blueberry bread. She's telling us decolonizing diet stories through a cooking class here at Marquette Food Co-op.
spatula. That's great.
So that's what they're making on this side. On the other side,
Is that gonna fit in this? I don't know, that's gonna fit in. This will fit in there.
I did get you all your stuff.
Okay.
All that.
We're gonna
give it a college try.
all
on the other side, it looks like they're making the pumpkin cornbread.
I generally make them in smaller pans.
I didn't put the full amount of water.
Yeah,
Sorry, you were saying you mix them in.
I generally mix them and bake them in smaller pans than what they have. So we're putting them
I wonder if our
glass pans so that one, they don't cook too long. It would take too long if it was in one big pan. And then, but we'll still want to keep an eye on it, right? So that it might be a little bit longer than what the recipe says. So we'll do the 2 big pans.
Do we grease these or put parchment?
You can put just a little bit of oil in them and tap them with a little bit of oil. Not willingly.
One meal.
Yeah, he did and he didn't, you know, like, my mom was also living with us because my dad passed away and a month into the diet, so my mom was just sort of
the cornmeal batter before it went into the muffin tins this week?
that's not my,
Yeah, I didn't know if
did
you got
not
to
see
get,
that.
because we're looking, it's looking a little
Ready?
watery. And I didn't know if you saw it last
Okay,
week.
and
If it
Barry's
looked
last, and
watery,
we'll
if
pour it
that's
into
just
the
how it is.
pans.
I don't know.
That's the 3/4 cup.
I tried one. All right, so our inside of our,
Cups with this and.
Do this one. Do you want to do this one?
Well, there might be some.
This is
The
a
maple, you get the maple.
It's the maple, yeah.
$3.75.
So I'll get you Mitch, I'll get you.
very rich.
Okay.
Put that around in there.
Rich and a good
No, it's not as bad.
so we have 3 recipes going on. I can only keep up with one. My favorite probably is the pumpkin maple bread at the station I'm at right now, but then definitely the sun butter cookies where I'm going to move to next because I'm going to show them how to shape and press the pecan on top of the cookie. But yeah, we're just kind of working a little bit slow, getting these recipes together, and then I'm going to do a presentation a little bit later while we're waiting for things to bake.
But also, I forgot, we have the put in the room.
All right, so split that one recipe, split that up between the 2.
Wow, yours is very thick.
What is that?
Accurate, like, looks great. It's like soup.
Uh-oh. So one of the recipes we're using isn't mine. It's Marty Reinhardt's pumpkin cornbread, and I don't really know what it's supposed to look like while it's in process.
Oh, can we top it? I'm getting excited.
Can we top it? They have extra berries, so like, can we top the fries?
How would that, that would taste so good.
Well, you know when you have, nut breads, and then you slice the fruit on top.
Your cookies, do they need a parchment? And Shelley will thank you for helping, like, less.
Yes.
Part of
Well,
the
it's partly that, but it's also, they just don't stick. They just, they're just.
Pamela said you didn't use parchment last week.
We should have been.
That's why I asked, I was like, wasn't it?
You know what? I don't remember the details of last week. I just was here, we were going through it.
Well, I kind of just like knock out every class. I come out on the other side, okay, but I don't
Bingo!
remember double. I remember what it said.
You just Move it on this side.
You want more?
All right, so we're getting these bread pans ready to go. How is the cookie mix coming?
How do we feel about topping it now?
Awesome.
You can't go wrong.
So?
Oh, no.
What do you think? The blueberries on top? No?
Yeah, sure. We'll just
Why not?
Almost.
do it.
Good, that'll be good.
Your recipe is.
We can't waste food, so we're using the rest of the blueberries on top of the bread. This is not necessarily part of what I would do. Although if I had extra blueberries, then I would too. So we have some creative food artists taking some agency and putting blueberries on top of it. There's no leavening agent, so when there's some pumping up, it'll be a little bit more dense, but it's still, it will do it a little bit, but because there's no leavening agent, it doesn't, you know, rise like a bread.
Yeah.
These are ready to go in the oven, I guess. I don't know if we're, hello? Yeah, do we put them on a tray and put them in, or just go put them in like that? What's that?
Yeah.
Just put them in.
I guess put them in.
I don't know. Yeah, so what's the time?
30 to 60 minutes.
Yeah, so let's put an hour down, but we'll check it, try to do our best to check it. How are you guys doing over here with the sun butter cookies? Huh?
I think pretty well so far.
I just want to do a sample of
Doing that.
I want to do a couple examples of how I roll them up. And put them on the paper.
Yes.
Apparently I didn't use the parchment paper last week, so I don't remember.
There's nuts in there and having pieces of these were clean. These were not.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be all right. It'll be all right.
This is,
All right.
like that.
Knitting.
Get one more go around.
A little bit, maybe just a grab of it. How long did you say?
This is our sugar pecans. We're gonna actually put these on top of our sun butter cookies. And then whatever's don't have, then we're just gonna eat them. Yum. This is my tea.
Very good.
The pump, yeah.
Sorry. Bumbling around.
Once it's in, it's in.
All right, so we got the bread in, we got the pumpkin bread in.
He's making some butter cookies right now.
We got the cookies are almost there.
Yeah.
Cookies are almost there.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I never knew
This is what
I'm gonna try to get a good view here.
This is the one we want to watch because if we don't keep an eye on it, it could turn a little into butter.
Should I go slower? Wide open?
So it should have like a consistency of like brown sugar or close to it. It might not be perfect, but
Is that the pecan flour?
this is gonna be, yeah, this is the pecan flour.
I'm gonna get a BF here.
I think it's probably gonna be good at this point.
Good enough?
I think so.
Have you done that in a coffee bean grinder too? Okay.
Yeah, I use my coffee bean
Yeah.
grinder for all of my baking stuff.
Yeah.
Some butter
Everything
cookies.
except coffee beans.
How are we doing compared to last week's class?
I feel like we're just a wee bit
behind.
I don't
Sarah cracks so really hard.
Huh?
Sarah can crack the way probably harder than me. But squashes.
So while we're waiting for getting our cookies ready, and we will want as many of folks who can help out with shaping and placing cookies, it'll help speed up the process. In next week is our Indigenous Perspective Symposium at NMU, all day Thursday, and we're centering our conversations on food. So we're gonna have some wild rice teachers, a mini wild rice camp. We have other people coming as well to talk about nutritional values and just all sorts of conversations. But we've also invited Roger Lebin from Watersmeet to come and help do, is that ready to go?
I think so.
Okay, I can do that and talk. So, do we have a clean spoon? Okay. I'm gonna make this about a golf ball size. It's a little wet, just a little bit. I'm literally making it a golf ball size, and I'm putting my pecan on it. And that, I think when I've, everybody has a little bit different ovens, and everybody has a little, so I'm keeping these about 1 inch apart. So you see how I'm just like literally scooping up, making them, rolling them quick, size of a golf ball. I'm putting pecan on the top. Set that aside for me. I'll see if I can get one more in this row, and then I'll switch it over to you guys. So we're having our symposium. We're going to have a little mini wild rice camp on the NMU campus next Thursday, the 23rd of October. It's free. If you can't make it for the whole day, we do have a DDP lunch, inspired lunch, that we're going to be offering. If you wanted to attend the lunch and maybe one session, there is a registration we'd ask for, only because we want to make sure we have the right amount of food. And then also, but if you can't make the lunch and you can only make some of the workshops, that's fine too. Just make sure you don't click on the registration for lunch. But is it that night or is it the night before?
That night.
It's that night.
Thursday night is going to be Catchpole. What's his first name? Charles Catchpole. And he's going to have a class here too. I know nothing about him other than to say I've had a sample of his spices and they're amazing. So I'm kind of excited. I'll be in the class. I want to take the class. So
I will be here.
Yeah.
Do you know what the timing is on that?
Is it 5:30? The class?
It wasn't clear.
On the class time?
Or like maybe the ending
Okay,
time. I think
so
it
we can get
starts
some
at
people
9:30,
doing
but
cookies.
I'll double check.
Shape some cookies, shape some
I'm not
cookies.
gonna shape cookies. I don't have. Oh, dexterity.
As many people who could help shape cookies, that'd be awesome.
Hey, Kool-Aid.
Go for it. And then, do you end up doing a batch and a half?
Double.
It's double.
It's a double. I got you, April. I got one. Tell them I did it for him.
I will.
You might remember Doug.
So we're here at the Marquette Food Co-op. We're doing Decolonizing Diet Stories by Dr. April Lindala. She's doing a cooking class right now. Right now they're shaping the sun butter cookies.
Well, you could put them on. I can't. And that, the cookies will go in that oven. Over there. Oh, we're getting lots of hearts, people. That's awesome. Thank you all for the hearts. Amazing. All right, I see some teamwork. Somebody's doing the pecans, somebody's doing the rolling them up like donuts.
I'm gonna make cookies. My goal balls keep getting bigger and bigger.
Oh, yeah.
I get the novelty wears off.
I go,
Just get her done, get her
how
done.
big is a golf ball when you really think about it?
I really know, I don't know. I've never played golf. I played, like, what do you call it? The kids golf?
So probably 8. Our typical class time is 5:30 to 8, and I think that's what that. But I'll check the workout on that. Is that? Yeah, I'm probably gonna. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. They're Kool-Aid. I'm not sure.
Included in just the registration for the symposium.
Trying to find the like most beautiful.
Yeah, I think that messaging was hard.
I know, that's what I started doing. I was picky about my pecans, so I didn't want to just put in any pecans on there.
No offense to the other pecans.
We'll eat those,
Yeah.
but they're more snacky pecans than cookie pecans.
Right.
Yeah, these are some snacks.
Nobody's judging though.
We love all of them equally.
We love all the pecans.
So are these classes free to join?
If they're a member, it's so these classes, this is all from the co-op, the Marquette Food Co-op. They invited me to join them with the cooking class. They do a whole bunch of different cooking classes throughout the year. If you're a member of the Marquette Food Co-op, they're $35, and then I think they're $50 for non-members. I'm really lucky because I'm volunteering my time tonight, but as part of my kind of give back, I got to bring a guest, and that is Karen. So Karen's joining us because not just of being a social media influencer, but she's my guest here checking things out. So, but if I could have another guest, then I would get to pay the member price because I'm a member of the co-op. And so I was hoping that Michelle would have been able to join us, but she wasn't able to. She's got things to do, so she wasn't able to stick around and hang out with us this evening.
Thank you, Mystique, for the corgi. Corgi.
Oh, we got a corgi?
Yeah, we got a corgi.
I love the corgis! Okay.
We're gonna try to get everything cleaned up this week.
So I think the cookies are going in this one over here. Okay.
But now there's a third pan, so.
Oh, okay.
You have to wait till.
Okay, gotcha.
Something finishes.
I know. I struggle with that. It's like
So we'll move back up front for the presentation once the third cookie tray is ready to go.
It smells great in here too, guys.
It'll be done before class is over. We'll have a nice fresh batch.
Commence cooking.
Cookie dough is really good.
Yeah.
So those are the sun butter cookies. So we actually made the pumpkin seed flour. We got the sun butter. We got the pecan flour. Duck eggs. And the maple sugar.
He said, but do you want to maybe have it there? So I was like, okay, no problem. And I'm like, you need a, I need like a, that gives my name to sit with that many.
I know. That was close.
But I guess he's bringing.
It'll bake on, right?
He's bringing like our notes.
I did.
I mean, this is what he does.
Right, I've heard that too, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I didn't see that. I mean, I saw it. Okay, that's not, well, that sounds good to me, but.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm trying to pick pretty
That's what I do at home.
So I'm excited for these because my son decided not to sun butter his sus, okay? So it's not peanut butter for his sandwiches.
You want to take a picture of it?
Not allergies.
I'm not affiliated with NMU.
We're OCD and cookie making.
But so.
There we go.
Beautiful. Look at that. I don't know if I think that
I wonder if darker. They're sort of green.
What makes the sun butter? It would be sunflower seeds.
How can you go wrong?
Yeah.
So it's basically the
Did you taste the sun?
pumpkin, seed flour, 1 cup of sun butter, pecan flour, sunflower oil.
I like chilled.
And it tastes actually, some butter actually tastes like sunflower seeds. I don't know. To me it does. Like, I know my school that I work at, we give the kids sun butter because, you know, you can't have nut in school because of nut allergies. But sun butter is a safe choice, so we eat that in school, and it basically tastes like sunflower seeds. That's, you know, made into sun butter.
Do it in the in-between time.
It's
Pretty tasty, actually. Should give it a try.
So we're gonna get some small plates of the squash ready.
You guys can sit, and we'll come and bring it to you.
Yep. And then as you're sitting down, can I grab your okay.
This time.
Is that okay?
And then set it for 8
Another,
minutes,
yep,
10.
Yep, I can do that.
Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you.
Guys, if you're new to my my page, my content, make sure you're hitting that follow button. I do like to go to, I do travel to powwows during the weekend. I will be going to Hunting Moon Powwow, which is a pretty big powwow here in the Wisconsin area. So if that's something you like, or, you know, again, I do like to film a lot of Native American content. So if that's something that you're interested in learning more about, make sure you hit that follow button. Thank you.
Email or phone number. No, just in case we had a question.
Yeah, I know, it's been a while.
Awesome. Thank you so very much, everybody, for being willing to be part of our collaboration with Sassy Native, Karen Webster joining me here tonight. I do have a presentation that is going to build off of what I started talking about earlier with the foundation of the Decolonizing Diet Project. And that's my other apron and redesign that I'm wearing. So I really, as I mentioned, I found this project and this research to be some of the most transformative for my own life, I guess. But I'd like you to kind of sit with is thinking about this amazing territory that we live in through your imagination. If you feel like you want to close your eyes to do that, or if you just want to think about a time that you were in the woods, what might this territory be like and have been like pre-contact? Certainly, you know, no phones, no microwaves, no stoves, no cars, no, you know, all of these things. And yes, we're using those tools today. But I'm going to ask you to just kind of take your time and think about that time and space of what this territory looked like before then. Because I think one of the things I found really interesting is having the association of these places. Many of the places in this territory were associated with food names. So this is a map, and the map is done by Great Lakes Indian Fish and Wildlife Commission. And we received a gift of this map back in 2007, 2008 from a gentleman by the name of Jim St. Arnold, KBIC citizen. Did a lot of work for Great Lakes Indian Fish and Wildlife for years and years and years. And we told him it needed to be in the Indian Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for putting this map together, because all of these names that you see are in Ojibwe. They're in the Ojibwe language. And so this is kind of where we're at right here, Kitchiname, Binik, Sibing. This is Marquette. And just a little south of here is Menominconing. Menominconing. That's the place of the wild rice.
Yeah.
Anybody would ever think like over by Winter Little Lake was the place of the wild rice, right? So the fact that in pre-contact times, and you know even after contact, as people were moving in, these all had names in the language, and many of those names were associated with where to gather food, where we have relationships with food, and I think that's always, I always want to point that out because today we don't know that that rice is in a space or place to be taken care of there. We know that it's up and buried a lot because of actual purposeful restoration efforts. We know if it's over by Lac Vieux Désert because of continued taking care efforts. We know it's growing in places downstate because in the Big Mitten because people are purposefully taking care of the waters and taking care of spaces to bring that back. So just to have it that close to Marquette is actually something that surprised me when we were looking at these maps and studying these maps. So pre-colonial names, Ojibwe names. As I mentioned, this is what wild rice looks like when it's still kind of in harvesting, process of harvesting there. So you can see the rice and hulls, and it's a really complicated multi-step project to hand harvest the rice. And to hand harvest the rice is to have a relationship with the rice. So there are people who absolutely, I think, want to find ways to have the process shortened or take a little bit of shortcuts. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I think what I like to tell people though is that when we engage in a relationship with our foods, it's about them knowing how to take care of us and us knowing how to take care of them. Because so many of us are disconnected to foods. Me too, right? I buy my stuff. I buy a lot of my stuff. We're disconnected to the process behind the store counters. We're disconnected from the process behind the freezer, right? So I think being very connected to the process of taking care of the food adds to your own enriching experience. In other ways, I also want to remind folks that food and plants and these more than human relatives, as I refer to them, and I say more than human, to reiterate, they can thrive without humans. Meaning they have more knowledge than we do. We actually sometimes get in the way and disrupt. But a lot of Anishinaabe art and expression celebrates foods, plants, things that give us gifts that nourish us. So on the right is a basket, that Odamin. Odamin, remember I was saying Odamin? Odamin is heart, min is berry, heartberry. So that's a basket, a black ash basket. She's 5th generation, Kelly Church. She's a maker. She made that basket to honor the strawberries. On this side, we have a painting by Christy Belcourt, an Anishinaabe artist from Ontario. And in her art, she's very mindful. She has berries in here too, throughout. But she also makes a very distinct point to keep the roots. And oftentimes, that is something we're disconnected to. If we're given a gift of bouquet of flowers, they're very beautiful, but we don't always get the roots, right? They cut those off. And so she makes it very much a point in her expressions to include the roots, because those roots also contain medicine and communicate with beings in the ground and the soil and so on to kind of help the flower come to be. So I really love these two ways of expression. They're only 2 examples. There's so many more. That's in and of itself a whole class. I was mentioning earlier the map and how everybody would come through our doors in the center and it'd be like, here, draw a circle around what you think the Great Lakes is. And so some people drew way out here and some people just drew really close in. So this green line here is what we came to understand as a collective community version of Great Lakes. We didn't say this is the Great Lakes. We wanted the community to be invested in the decision of what they thought it was, and this green line around helped us with that. Again, we were so lucky that these territories over here were included, because our sugar year was terrible that year. The winter was way too warm. It was 80 degrees in mid-March that year. Very out of, and the fact that sap was running in end of January, very unusual. So we're super grateful that we had folks over on the east end of this line that could help us with maple sugar and help us with some of the other things that we needed. So, any thoughts or questions about this map? I just think the process is kind of cool.
Very cool. The pecans grow, how far north can you grow pecans? Indian. Okay.
Right down here.
So very much.
So very, right? Like, wow, what if people didn't say that? What if they didn't include that? We'd be sad. No, we would be using hazelnuts, we'd be using acorns. Acorns flour is real strong. So you can't use it on the mass scale like I'm using pumpkin seed flour. It's really got an intense punch. Salt, people who know, in Detroit, there's a big salt underground Detroit.
Can I just have one fun fact to say?
Please.
Because I just learned about Detroit salt. Well, so then oh my gosh, what's the thumb? What am I thinking of? The county in the thumb.
St. Clair.
St. Clair.
Yeah.
St. Clair Shores. So they are an area that commercially produces salt that we buy off the shelf.
Oh, wow.
So Diamond Crystal is mined in St. Clair Shores. Yeah.
St. Clair Shores or St. Clair County? I think it's St. Clair County.
So somewhere in that, yeah.
Yeah, St. Clair County has a lot of farms. St. Clair Shores is pretty burb, so it's kind of the burbs of
There
Detroit.
is like a salt dome, underneath the surface, and I found that so interesting. So it's
And it could be, I don't know, but it could be St. Clair Shores, I'm not sure, but I know a lot of sugar beets are also taken care of in that farm area around St. Clair. So anyway, so this is our map that we utilized, and thank goodness it reached in places that we needed it to reach. So we were talking a little bit earlier about some of the names, Ojibwe names of some of the ingredients that we were using, and I just used the top two as an example. So you can see how min is attached to blackberry, zingabimin, and muskegmin. Muskegmin sounds sort of like Muskegon.
Yeah.
That's the place of the swamp where they grow cranberries, Muskegon. So that's that. And then we have mandamin for corn, opin for potato. We don't think we have potatoes. Ozawakosaman. I can't do this one. Saman. Ozawakosaman is a pumpkin or large squash. And then I remember I told you we didn't have a word for pecan, but bagan is hazelnut or peanut. And then you can see some other ones here. Monoman is obviously a popular one with regards to the northern wild rice. White-tailed deer, Wawashkeshi, has a cute story to it. The Wawashkeshi for white-tailed deer, it's the flash of light that when the deer jumps on the tail. That's what that's explaining. It's that. When you see that deer jumping, you see that flash of light, the whiteness of the tail. So that's what.
How do we say that?
Wawashkeshi. 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 And that's me back when I used to still dye my hair. Blueberries in a spot I won't tell you about. Being on the project staff, I got to interview participants. I was a research participant myself, volunteered to do that, but I also got to interview them. And one of the interviewees, one of the participants was a young mom. And I think being that she was a young mom, she's always going to watch what she fed her babies anyway, right? Like moms do that and dads do that, right? They have young kids, you're going to watch what you. And she made this comment that kind of like blew me out of my seat. And she said, eating is such an intimate act. And I thought about it because I was, I'm most of my life putting Cheetos and Dr. Pepper in my mouth, right? So I'm like, not wise. Tasty, but not wise. And so that really made me sit and think about, other than doctors telling us what to put, and even then they might be suspect, but even doctors saying, you have to take this because it's going to help improve your health. We're making choices about the one vessel we get for our entire life to take care of. And her saying that really helped turn the whole project mindset around for me in a way I hadn't anticipated. Because I'm going through the motions and I'm learning and I'm learning and I'm learning, but then I was like, oh yeah, this is literally a choice I'm making every day. And it was, I will say, last week somebody asked if we still do it and still need to. I think we hopefully inspire other people and have this ripple effect outward. I'm gonna tell you something, somebody asked me, you know, I cook less now afterwards because it was so much time dedicated to cooking and cleaning that I hadn't anticipated that either. And so my husband has become the primary cook now in our household because it just was really, I don't think I realized until on the other side of it, I was like, there's so much love and labor, but labor involved with that. And so I think it actually wore me out a little bit. But I do, this is the bread that we're gonna make. I do take this very seriously, right? I do take about the idea of happy thoughts in the kitchen because our emotions that we're putting in are going into what we're stirring. Are, you know, we're scooping up sugar, but you know, let's have some laughter and jokes at the same time. So these are just some sample dishes that I came up with. These are waffles. That's not in the book. So I made those sweet potato waffles and pumpkin flour waffles. Duck egg whites are hard to whip. I will add. And then just some nuts in it looks like an acorn squash. And this is kind of what our bread will look like here in a little bit. After a while, our first few potlucks were kind of scary, I'll say. And we had potlucks very purposefully because as a project staff, the project team, we recognized not everybody had the wherewithal financially to pick up some of these foods. So we would have giveaways. We would come here, we would go to Phil's, we would go to some of the meat shops and buy bison meat or whitefish or, you know, things that were needed in bulk from here. And we would have giveaways at these potlucks because we knew not everybody could afford what we were doing. And like I said earlier, it might be affording as in finances or it might be afford as in time. And so we would have these barters, right? We would had an online journal and we kept a journal of our activities and what we ate close to every day, not truly every day. And we'd read each other's journals and comment on each other's journals. But we had within our online journals, we had a space for bartering. So we knew that if somebody was in need, then we could all help them out. Interestingly, along that line, I mentioned earlier that was the year my dad passed away, a month into the project, and other people within our group also lost either a parent or somebody significant. And this group ended up turning out to be a support group in ways that we wouldn't have necessarily thought about on the front end, because we would make gift packages and share them with people. And so that ended up being something that was unexpected for me. When I had to travel downstate to my mom's house, they made sure that I was sent with a whole bunch of goods because they knew I probably didn't have the wherewithal to go searching all the different stores around the area to see, do you have this, do you have this, do you have this? So they set me up with a big to-go package. And so that was something I was really moved, really touched that they would do that. After a while, however, this is we started end of March. This is December 12th. 12/12/12. That's how I remember that date. We hosted a dinner for the NMU Board of Trustees.
Oh, wow.
I think our president was super scared at the time, but we impressed. And so this is the sun butter cookie without the pecan. I was telling Amanda about the sun butter ice cream.
Oh, that sounds good.
And then I can't remember what this is, but I do remember it was tasty. But I'm not remembering what it was. So this is pecan encrusted whitefish, wild rice, and squash crabapple patties. Crab apples this time of year right now. Crab apples are in good time. I didn't want to bring crab apples here as part of this because but what we did was we shaved up butternut squash like in a cheese grater, and then take a duck egg, and then took some shavings of crabapple, and then fried them up in oil. So those are the squash crabapple patties. So yeah, we actually got pretty creative with our recipes. That's the squash dish that we made today. That's me doing wild leek. This is wild leeks. And then anybody ever seen anybody dance the rice before? Where you're on and in a little, you're dancing. That's what we were doing at Wild Rice Camp the other day. Not me, I had no responsibilities whatsoever. So again, about relationships with each other that are there, people that are there, and then relationships with the food itself. So I'll open it up to any questions. This is our notice about the information on the symposium next Thursday. It just so happens I actually, when I talked to Sarah and Amanda about these classes, I wanted to do them just ahead of the symposium to help promote the work that we're doing on the campus. We have folks coming in from all over the region, New York State, Kashina, Wisconsin, Oneida, Kashina. So we're real excited to be having people come from all over to talk about how they work with food and talk about food security, food sovereignty, and the food for everybody too, right? It's not just about food for one community, but we do talk about our relationship with the food. And so that's why I named the presentation what I did as far as, making relationships with food. Any questions for me? And if you haven't seen it, this is our cookbook. This can be found at the NMU bookstore. I believe, is Snowbound opened up again after their unfortunate?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So Snowbound, I believe, has some. Probably Books may have some too, but the NMU bookstore we know for sure has some. So this is a lot. You have an little excerpts out of this cookbook, but this is the whole thing. So, any questions for me? Yes, please.
How many people took part of this study? You may have said, and I just didn't.
That's fine. Yeah. No, we had 25, and Marty used to joke 23 made it. No, we're just kidding. So yeah, we had 25 go through, and a couple people just were like, oh, I don't know if I can do it. So we had a couple of people join us at the 6-month mark to do a half a year, so we could keep the number at 25 all the way through. Yeah.
Did you have any health changes, good or bad?
Great question.
Yeah.
Yes. So what I didn't mention, and this question kind of speaks to it, is every quarter, and even before the diet, we had meetings with different folks on campus, like from clinical lab sciences, exercise science, the nursing and pre-med. So they would take our blood, they would check our numbers for things. Triglycerides, I don't even know what that is, but our numbers were apparently very good during the diet. And then we had a lot of different academic programs helping us with that recording of it. And Marty did a little bit more of that research to see about how our health actually did improve. There was only one person who experienced weight gain. Everybody else experienced weight loss. Not why we did it, but certainly bonus. Right. But the one woman who said she gained weight, she thinks it's because she ate a lot of corn. And so that for her kind of contributed to, that was her theory anyway. Yeah. So we don't know exactly what that may have been, but and otherwise people, certainly appreciated the sun butter cookies in regards to like sugar intake, because the maple sugar is much better than the white sugar that's out there. So that was certainly a big conversation as well, particularly with Indian people. Really, our communities have a struggle with diabetes, and so we found that this would be one way that might try to help people navigate different foods. So we found a lot of different individuals were helping us in that way, right? So every quarter we got tested and our numbers were being followed. So it was really fascinating, to kind of see what we were doing. 2 weeks after, I will say Marty was one of 2 people out of the 25 that did 100%. Whoa. Every day. Oh my. All of his intake was DDP ingredients. And another gal from Munising. When he was done, he looked like an Olympic athlete. Wow. He was glowing, he was lean, he was, I don't know how else to explain it. Wow. 2 weeks later, his numbers went back. And I'm not talking, he just suddenly wasn't in the drive-thru at McDonald's every day. Because he still had a lot of leftover food that was DDP food, right? So, but he ate cheese and regular bread. He said, really, that's about all that he had a big change in. And some of his numbers went right back to where they were before we started.
What a cool test for him to figure out on his own.
Yeah, well, but also shocking, right? That it was so quick. It was so quick. His numbers went back, right? Yeah.
Right.
So, great question. Absolutely.
What about cost? Did you find it more expensive than your regular grocery bill for all those nuts and seeds?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why we felt the
That's
bartering was
interesting.
such an important, and the giveaway was so important.
Yeah.
We had to spend, because we had a number of NMU students doing it, right? And so they were helping us, but they would show up because we'd have community lunches for the Center for Native Studies, and once like the students figured that out, they were there for lunch, not necessarily contributing other than eating,
Right.
but we would make extra big sizes knowing that the students might show up and need some food.
Yeah.
So, but we knew they couldn't afford it. So we were very grateful to have earned a number of grants, writing grant proposals to help us with the research project. And so that's why our potlucks, we would have giveaways. And then sometimes if people maybe just were in need, we would try to figure out how to help them. We would come together and try to figure out how to help them. So this looks like the pumpkin cornbread. Good, I'm glad.
Marty's recipe,
That
right?
is Marty's recipe, yes.
And there'll be extra of everything that you've had. I'm just gonna set it all in the buffet.
The batter was really thin, so we
Weren't sure. I'm
Worked
really
out,
glad
though.
it looks
Turned
like
out
it
to
turned
be
out good.
good. Yeah.
And I think part of that is the pumpkin seed flour, right?
Yeah.
With that one. Did you have a question?
Yeah, how much of it have you tried to maintain?
Not nearly enough. It's now become it's a special occasion, right? It's like a special occasion. So if we have a special occasion that people are getting together or holidays, like I'll make stuff for holidays. But on a regular basis, it is tough.
It's
It
really
is
hard.
tough.
What about gluten-free, dairy-free? Do you aim for that, or you just kind of, that's not a goal?
That's not a goal, but you heard me say ice cream earlier.
Yeah.
How did that happen? Well, we would make wild rice, boil it up, and then set the gruel aside and use the liquid. Same thing with pumpkin seeds. Boil it up, boil up pumpkin seed
Yeah.
flour, set the gruel aside and use the liquid.
Pumpkin milk.
Yep. So that's how we would have our quote-unquote milks, just the liquids from those. And the gruel could be our breakfast cereal, right? Then we just throw some blueberries on top of that mixture and just eat that for breakfast. So then we have all the liquids. I think one of my favorite things my body craved was white pine needle tea. I have a really big white pine grandpa in my backyard, huge tree. And then I have a younger sort of, I call him the teenager tree. And so I would take pine needles and I would take like 2 bundles, you know, kind of like if you're measuring spaghetti, right? So you put that 2 pine, and so I would sew them up into coffee filters, 2 of these amount, right? That long, that much. And I would boil them down for, not boil them, but simmer them down for about 45 minutes to an hour. Put them, filter it, right? Filter it and put that in a jug and put some maple syrup in it and have it for the week. But I would wake up and it would be the first thing my body would want was some of that white pine needle tea. So.
Was there anything you craved that you couldn't have?
Because I was 25%, I could have anything I wanted. So,
Save it.
but I tried, right. You know, I think Marty's biggest thing was pizza
Oh, yeah.
and cheese.
Yeah.
That was his biggest thing, because he couldn't have it, right? So, where was our first meal at the end of it? The villa for a pizza. You know, so Yeah, that's what he agreed. But me, I was 25%, so I can navigate around it. Most of my meals, I would say, were 50, or most of my days were 50 or 75%, simply because we were doing it together at work.
Yeah.
And we had that peer support every day during the work week. So I feel like I actually did better than the 25%.
Yeah.
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 Other questions?
Was there anything, because Marty did 100%, was there anything he didn't want anymore after he came, like, that there was a food he didn't go back to?
That's a good question. I don't think so.
I'm just wondering.
I don't think so. I think he dove into it so much that he was just like, this is amazing, right? And
Yeah.
he created spices and he did dried foods and
I meant before the project, any foods from before the project.
oh.
Like, you know, maybe you don't want cheese anymore or as much, or you're off coffee,
I don't know.
so
I don't know.
that's curious. isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, no coffee.
No coffee, right?
Coffee.
So I did 1 week at 100%.
Oh,
And we would do that in the month of November. The first week in November, we would go 100% DDP. And that was, you know, I'd have the last coffee. It was very, very symbolic, having the last coffee. And because even going a week at 100% is tough. Okay, so we plan out the menu, we share and swap menus, share and swap recipes, share and swap shopping lists. Where to get things, right?
Yeah, I bet.
What stores did you find that had the most accessibility for some of these?
Certainly here,
Yeah.
and I think they were, the co-op I think also was super excited to be like seeing it happen too,
Yeah.
right? I think they were just like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. So they went in and we probably could have done a little bit more work together on the front end, but I think we ended up reacting more just because we were like, we don't know where to shop. But you know, if we could get organic foods and it met the ingredient criteria that Marty created, which might mean a derivative of, you know, some foods from Free Contact. I mean, you could still find organic foods at other stores too. Bill's very supportive. The meat shop, both by Super One and the one that used to be in Ishpeming, also, they would call us. We have a bison roast, first one here, you know, you're gonna get it. So they, you know, the stores got to know us and would let us know when stuff was going on, so. Beyond that and outside of here, I remember going to Detroit and having a really hard time. Really hard time. I will say that. So I was really grateful we did it here, because you would think in a bigger city you'd have more opportunity. Absolutely not. It's really hard to find stuff. Great questions.
Did you
Yes.
forage for some of your food?
Absolutely, absolutely. And that was also part of our physical activity, right? So like we would do anything from like cattail roots to berries, of course, picking, leeks, you know, you saw me in the picture harvesting leeks. So yeah, all of that was actually probably something we did more than we talk about because we would do them in small groups. So we would try to do walks throughout each season to show people how to find things, how to forage things in a good way. And so we really tried to make that part of our physical regimen in cooperation with the food and what we were intaking, so, yeah.
Are cattail roots starchy? They like a starch?
I can't remember what we used those for. We have a lot of recipes, and so I can't remember, because we don't have all the recipes in there, of course, but I can't remember what we used those for. I just remember being in the ditch. And if you fell over, you would get really wet sometimes. It was important to like kind of also harvest and forage away from like main traffic roads.
Yeah.
So that you're not getting the exhaust from trucks and vehicles and stuff like that. Right. So oftentimes we would even have to go in places we didn't remember where we were going because maybe our guide knew where exactly to take us, but we wouldn't necessarily remember. So sometimes that was tricky. But it allowed me to see and experience a lot more of the land than I probably would have without it. So.
Could you eat oats?
No.
Because it's like a modern grain or something.
It wasn't on the list, that's what we knew. It wasn't on the list. Yeah. So Marty has a whole criteria, and maybe Marty will have to come and do a workshop one day too, about how he made his decisions about the criteria of foods. And so he would have a good definition for, here's what we could do for sure. Here's where derivatives that we had to do some like alterations, i.e. like organic blue corn chips. If it's just organic and sunflower oil, no problem, right? But if it's something and like something completely different, soy, then we couldn't. So we had to really ingredient read and get used to that. But yeah, oats was not on the list. So.
Do you feel like the food list was like pre-colonization, Great Lakes region, indigenous foods? Was that, because that was your map? And so there's just pre-colonization.
Right, but if it could be an ingredient that contributed, like I was using blue corn as the example, because we love the blue corn chips, but they had to be organic and they had to be made with the sea salt and the sunflower oil. They couldn't be blue corn chips made in another oil that was outside of the list.
Right.
So we had to read those ingredients, right? Yeah, you had a question.
Nut oils or corn oil?
Some people use corn oil, but I stuck with sunflower oil and I stuck with the butternut squash and pumpkin seed oil. Way better flavors, right? To me. So.
Where did you get pumpkin seed oil?
Stony Brook is the brand out in upstate New York. They weren't able to get it for this workshop because the Stony Brook was out of stock. And so sadly, we didn't get to use any for this workshop.
And squash oil?
Butternut squash oil.
From the same place?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
So from the seeds, I would imagine.
Yeah. And again, the pumpkin seed oil, very nutty flavor, almost a little smoky flavor. It really gives the cookies in particular a nice flavor. We're not gonna have that, but you're not gonna know because we use sunflower oil as our substitute. But if you did have access to some of the pumpkin seed oil in the future, it is actually amazing. How's that doing?
It's cooking.
Smells good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So I see the cookies are out.
Cookies are out.
Are they resting?
They're just resting. They're just getting ready for you guys. And more muffins are here. Squash is here. If anybody is welcome to come back.
That
up
is
for
really
anything.
good, right? There's a lot of these profiled flavors are very similar though, like they're kind of all family because there's so much of the overlapping ingredients. But there are very different dishes, right? So there are, like if you were to do something with bison, if you were to do something with some other winter squashes, you could do something that's a really different flavor profile. So I just happen to be one of the bakers, and these are some of my favorite standbys. These are probably the recipes I use the most.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I could see taking that.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, absolutely. I didn't mean to leave that off the list, other than, we had Wawashkishi on the list. Venison.
Oh.
Yeah, venison was absolutely key. Bison key, venison was key. Moose. If you're not used to moose, I must say a really, really good moose stew or cooked moose, when done well, is amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, I can't say enough about moose, actually. It's probably one of my favorite wild game flavors. Yeah.
Did you do anything? I saw sweet fern powder.
Use it as a spice. We would dry it and use it as a spice. Same with grasshoppers.
Sweet fern, is that different than the fiddlehead?
I don't think so.
It would be the same.
But fiddleheads, Or the little curly ones?
Just the early
Oh,
fern, just
right,
the
right,
baby
right, yeah,
ferns.
so the sweet fern leaves, we would dehydrate and use as spice, right, like use it on
Right.
spice on things. And then the fiddleheads, I believe there were people who actually tried to work with those, like in the fryer.
Mhm.
So I don't remember using those, but I do remember cooking milkweed pods. And my mom actually taught me how to cook them. Not anything to do with the DDP. She's like, oh, I remember, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, really? So yeah, so we did try those. They taste like little itty bitty okras. Yeah.
Cooked them whole, like while they're in pod form, and then just put them in a.
Yeah, there's something on the inside, you want that emptied out though. So you boil the heck out of them.
Tons of milkweed on her.
Yeah.
I know it's for the butterflies, but we have so
Right,
much.
right, but
It's
they need it too,
Yes.
right? The butterflies need the milkweed too, so.
And for your white pine needle tea, is there a specific time you collected the white pine needles?
Good question. Usually I would harvest them off the tree. I wouldn't use them if they fell to the ground.
Or you could like
Anytime.
Okay.
We did a class before that was white pine needle and rose hip tea, and it was and maple syrup.
Yeah, I
Love
bet.
that it was.
Yeah.
And healthy. Like it
Right.
has all this medicinal property too, especially rose hips are high in vitamin C. So it was like timely with this time of year.
Yeah.
And white pine needle has vitamin C too, but I think there's something if you boil it too much that it kind of lowers the potency of the vitamin C. So, but that's a little outside my scope of knowledge. So, yeah.
Try that. It seems
How long did
astringent,
you
like
boil?
the needles would be
That's why I sewed them up in coffee filters. So I would take the brown coffee filters and I would sew them up and I would boil them in water in 2 coffee filters. So if I had a bundle this big, 2 of them, I'd sew them up real quick in coffee filters and let them go for about 45 minutes to an hour. But you don't want that hitting your pan. You don't want those needles hitting your pans. Yeah. So that is something that I would definitely recommend. And other people did other things with them, like cheesecloth and,
Right.
other ways to wrap them up. So that's just how I did them. So,
Don't you want them to get high?
because of the acidic nature of them can harm the pans.
Do you toothpick your bread?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's got some berries on top, so it might be a little.
Maybe because we had extra.
Yeah, we put them.
Does it? Yeah.
We embellish.
Just wanted to throw off my.
Maybe, yeah.
Makes it beautiful.
So I think we have almost everything done then, right? The cookies and the
Yep.
bread are almost
Oh,
done.
yeah.
Lovely.
All right,
Yep.
let that bread rest a little bit, but I think we can pass up the cookies, hey?
Yes.
Is your waffle recipe in that book, or how does someone get your?
I would have to, oh, you know what? NMU took our,
Did sweet potato waffle? Or
I could probably figure it out again, but we used to have our whole share drive with all of our recipes in our journals, and NMU took it down not too long ago, but didn't tell us.
Oh.
they
So-
just threw out your stuff?
Yes.
Oh.
Well,
That's rude.
yeah, we're kind of sad about it.
Yeah.
It's about digital space these
Right.
days, but I wish they would have reached out to me.
Yeah.
Not trying to dog my colleagues across campus, but yeah,
Right.
that was kind of a bummer.
Download it and save it.
Yeah, so Marty has all of his journals, but the rest of us, we don't necessarily have ours. So, and our recipes, we're entangled in those, right?
Huh.
Did you know if he made it?
Delicious. Some butter cookies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yep, yeah, yeah, I'll have to try it again.
Oh, these are beautiful.
I just remember the egg whites are really hard to whip. Cause the duck egg whites are so much different. How,
They're
what do
really
you think?
good.
Yeah. I'm not sure how that face is like. really good hay.
Yeah, that's good.
Did your husband participate at all when you were eating this way? Just
Somebody
by
else asked me that, and I was like, not always willingly, but, yeah, he did. Simply because, you know, if I was cooking, and I didn't wanna just cook for me.
Right.
So, and then my mom was living with us for a while, and then his mom was living with us for a while, so all of them had to partake, so.
There's just so many more resources now too for recipes that you didn't have.
We didn't have, we were, right. That's one thing I will say, is I don't think we could say we're like the first, but we're really close to some of the first that were coming up with these kind of decolonizing ideas around food. Now there's like restaurants all over the place, there's cookbooks all over the place, but you think about Marty's thought process and then Marty's like making all of this happen, like through grants and so on. He was getting calls from the United Nations, he had calls from Australia, he had calls from Newfoundland, he had calls from Japan, he had calls from DC, he had calls from, you know, people from all over the world were realizing what we were doing and calling it. The only reason we didn't end up on more food shows is we didn't have brick and mortar. We didn't have a restaurant. We had multiple food shows contact us, but because we did not have brick and mortar, we didn't have a restaurant or a food truck, we did not get on a food show.
Nobody was inspired to start that after the time.
Well, clearly the sous chef in Minneapolis he's doing great, you know.
But not here, nobody here. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, we should
Well,
try.
you know, no.
Have you been to his restaurant?
No, I haven't. Marty has, and his wife Tina, they have, and some other people who have been part of it have. But I'm very interested in that one, the one in UC Berkeley, near UC Berkeley, Oakland, I think there's one. And then Chef Nehi down in the Southwest, those are the three I would like to go to, and just haven't. So.
First Nations Museum in Oklahoma City.
Oh, do they have?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We had lunch there.
Yeah.
The museum's fantastic too.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, so more and more, you're seeing that, right? You're seeing the food movement in this way really spread out. And you have to think too, this was 15 years ago, he sparked the idea. 12 or 13 years ago, we did the actual year-long project. And so, yeah, I don't think we were the absolute first, but we were on the brink of that. Shelley?
Do you think, because of this, that what you guys are doing, and when you were talking earlier about how they want, and with all the, starting with the movement of like the food and learning this way, do you think that will help stop or start people, those corporations and companies to stop doing the genetic modifying or see the importance of this, that we can't really go backwards,
I'd like to think so, but I don't think it
that
will.
they'll realize their mistake and
I would like to hope so and think so and have like a bright spot of hope with that, but I don't know that they will, because if they see an opportunity for, money,
Right.
I don't know why they would do that. And actually, that brings me to another little promo I'm gonna bring about. And that is my movie I'm showing next Wednesday. Is a movie entitled Seeds. A little bit of humor, a little bit of horror, in time for Halloween. But the story revolves around seed protection. So the story, this is a Mohawk woman, and it's part of her, it's a fictional story, it's not a documentary, it's a fictional story. But it revolves around protecting seeds on her reserve.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's fun.
So that's Wednesday, yeah. So and here, you can pass this around and take pictures if you like. Open the leaves up here. Like I said, a little bit of humor, a little bit of horror because of Halloween coming up. But I've been really wanting to show this film to this community because she's from a reserve in what is currently known as Quebec. And doesn't get over this way very often, and so I really wanted to make sure to invite her. She's going to be here. The director is going to be here. She stars in it as well. Anybody watch Reservation Dogs?
Yes.
She is Dear Lady.
Oh.
Yeah, so Theo Horn is Dear Lady, so she is gonna be here next week, Wednesday.
Will she do the symposium or no?
She might not because she has an obligation in New York City, and I'm not sure what her flights look like yet, so.
Yeah, that's weird now too.
Yeah, so.
Now, is this poster downloadable on your Facebook page?
Not the poster, but we made Instagram and Facebook posts that
Okay.
had the same information.
Okay,
So we did post this yesterday,
so is it on your
both
Facebook?
Facebook and Instagram.
Okay, so the link's in the bio, guys, if you want to look at that poster up close. The link's in my bio.
So. And if you looked closely at the heart, there's corn in there.
No camera.
So.
Do you want me to hold it up? Let me see.
Yeah, so I'm really excited. Gunna Theo Horn also has a podcast, Coffee with My Ma. Her ma was quite something back in the day. If anybody's heard of the so-called Oka crisis in 1990, this involved her territory, Mohawk territory over in Quebec. You know, I guess you could say similar to the Standing Rock movement. Only 16 years, or however many years earlier, lots of years earlier, 26 years earlier in 1990, corporations wanted to build a golf course on burial grounds and reserve territory. And so the Mohawks had said, no, you're not gonna do it. And they had I wanna say 73-day standoff. And there's a documentary, very notable documentary by the most excellent and amazing Alanis Obamsawin that you can see for free on the National Film Board of Canada's website called Kanasatake, 270 Years of Resistance, I believe. So Alanis Obamsawin actually had cameras on the inside. She herself is Native, and so she was able to work with the Mohawk community and have cameras on the inside. So that's where she comes from, and she comes from a strong line of Mohawk women, and her mom tells stories on their podcast with her. Just Coffee with My Mom, that's what it's called. That's really great. So. All right, so the bread, I think, is getting ready to get cut.
Bread is out, and if anybody wants to scooch over and grab a slice, you're welcome to.
Good, I'm glad you guys like the cookies.
The cookies are yummy.
Everything.
All right, we're gonna end right on time again. Just a
I
few
think
minutes
we
left.
needed to maybe grease a little better.
You said that you use the pumpkin seed oil when you
Yeah, we substituted sunflower oil because we had.
Oh, that looks really good. Really nice.
and it's just called
It's a brand.
Bet that squash is really good, right?
Yeah, it is good.
It's really good.
I like the nuts in it.
Did you ever find anything that was like a butter, like I just look at the bread and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, like that
butter.
stuff right there, what
Is
she
there
cooked in the
anything
beginning.
diet in
Super
DDP
yummy.
that was like a resemblance of butter?
Oh, some butter?
Right.
So the bread has a distinct flavor because it has that wild rice flour. Right? It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
I'm surprised how light it tastes.
Cookies were a hit.
Yeah, I think so. Can't go wrong.
Served you dessert.
Good job, everyone.
Yeah. I only got to the garage part, but
Yeah, I was really surprised.
thank you all for choosing to spend your Wednesday or Tuesday evening with me. I'm jumping ahead. Tuesday evening. I appreciate it so much. To be able to
That
talk
was
about my
good, too.
journey and share some of these recipes with you. So,
And then I get to do a few plugs because you mentioned a few things that brought up. Well, so the class, the symposium, symposium, and then there's a class
Crunchy.
after. So it's not the same registration as just signing up for the symposium and the lunch.
correct.
When you go to like look at the site, there'll be a separate spot for registering for coming here. A price point attached to it. But we were sent the menu and I can't even begin to describe how amazing it sounded. There was so much. And so I was just gonna mention that. And then the symposium, of course, which anybody can sign up for. And then foraging. I just got through a meeting today. I'm planning my schedule for January through May of next year. And I got in a meeting today where I have someone that's going to teach foraging. So we'll do a like workshop like this, where it would be a presentation and a tasting. And then the part 2 of the class is a field trip. So a separate day where we would meet at the co-op and then our instructor is gonna tell us where we're gonna go. And we're gonna go actually like walk in the woods and he'll show us how to sustainably harvest and what to look for. So we're hoping to have him, we'll have him for sure for a spring, and then I'd like to book him for June for the workshop. Because June, I guess, is like a dead month for foraging. This is his business, this is what he does. So June is a dead month, so we would have a workshop in June with the field trip part in July.
This flavor is just
Awesome.
it's like so, it combines so well.
Yeah, so thinking of summer, Marty also has offered this class. We created a class. It is 4 credits, and it's something we've been offering in the summertime. And people ask about it. Marty is retired, if you didn't know. We're very sad. He has to retire, he has to live life. But I just think that we're gonna try to figure out, maybe do a round robin with a few DDP research participants to help teach that class for this upcoming summer. Make sure we still have to keep it going.
Do you use the kitchen on campus at all, like the culinary, you know? No, you would like to.
Yeah, they're not as open anymore.
Because I saw Chef Kibit as some of the recipe authors, so who, full-blown chef, that was at Northern, taught in the culinary arts, and then he did it. Did he do it with you guys? Okay, he just developed recipes.
But he was a very, very integral partner and made sure we had the kitchen when we needed it, make sure, but I don't know if it's a liability issue, I don't know what's going on, they don't let us do that anymore. So it would be cooking in your homes and everybody reports back, on what they've practiced and what they learned and, so.
The class after the symposium next week isn't full already? Because usually these classes.
Yeah, no, because this one came in late, just came in last week that it was happening. We weren't sure if it was.
So you registered through the co-op?
This week?
I'd have to look at.
This is next Thursday and the catch poll is also.
Guys, if you're interested in signing up and you're in the Michigan area, there's a link in my bio. You can find this poster, and it's got QR codes that you can sign up.
But this is just sort of the overall flyer.
I'll give more details for the co-op here.
What's your favorite?
I like it all.
Yeah.
It's very flavorful, but it's very filling.
Yes.
You almost
I'm full
just
of
need
them.
less,
Exactly,
you know?
right?
The cookies are very rich, they're very tasty, they're so rich.
Yeah, you're not gonna eat 10 of them. Nope.
So this bread with the blueberries, did that have wild rice flour?
Yes.
Yes.
Wild rice flour. Oh, wow, that was really good. Yes, the link is in my bio, guys.
Thank you so much, everybody, again, and thanks to
If you're
Amanda
local.
and Shelley for helping out, and Pamela for helping to prepare.
I'm gonna be there too, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Yeah, thanks so much. All right, there are more cookies. To take, if you want to take a couple, I just have to take a couple to Walt. I have to take some to Walt.
I get it.
By
I
all
haven't had a
means,
thing.
there's, yeah, take a couple of things home here.
I know, I was thinking about it. I'm not sure. Here's April.
Hi. Thanks so much for sticking with us doing this cooking show. It's been really awesome for me to share this evening with everybody here and everybody online. This is a really important part of my life as going through this project, and it was really transformative, and I'm just thrilled that we could do this and have Sassy here joining me for this workshop too. So I hope you guys learned a little something. I'd love to kind of check back and see if people have questions that I might be able to try and answer, but link up with the Center for Native American Studies Facebook page or the Center for Native American Studies Instagram page. I see those messages. So yeah, I would love to answer any questions and or point you into directions for other people who, if there's questions I can't answer, then I'll point you in the right direction. So anyway, I can't read your comments because I don't have my glasses on, sorry. But I appreciate all the hearts and all of the
Corgis.
the corgis! I love the corgis! Those are my favorite! So I work at Northern Michigan University in the Center for Native American Studies. I'm currently the department head, and just having a blast doing this kind of with this workshop because it's bringing a lot of good memories and of course a lot of good food to the table. So just absolutely appreciate Sassy joining and you all joining us here this evening. So
Thank you for having me. Absolutely. Thank you guys for being here. But I am gonna, my next live is actually gonna be at Hunting Moon Powwow this weekend. Hunting Moon Powwow. Oh.
but you guys have fun. Hunting Moon's amazing. Milltown's amazing. So I know everybody's gonna be dancing really hard. I'm gonna miss those woodland dancers. But you guys have an amazing time down at Hunting Moon.
Okay. Love you guys.
There's a lot.
Have a good night.
Coming over.
Awesome.